So, it was my fifth big promotion in a row. And guess what? My family acted like it was just another Tuesday. Zero claps, zero confetti, not even a fake smile. Meanwhile, my sister? Oh, she gets an entire studio for her little art hobby, as if she's the long-lost prodigy of Michelangelo himself. And then Mom dropped the iconic line, "She needs us more." That was it. My patience officially expired like an old carton of milk. I cut them off. Clean break, no turning back. But oh, the way they reacted? Pure chaos. The kind of meltdown that deserves its own Netflix special. The front door slammed so hard the photo frames rattled against the wall. My chest burned, words spilling before I could stop them. So that's it? You take everything I worked for and I'm supposed to smile about it? The living room was heavy with stale air. Bills stacked on the table like little gravestones. A pot of food sat untouched on the counter, cold and congealed. The old lamp in the corner buzzed, its light stuttering like it wanted to disappear. Mom stood near the sink, fingers twisting a dish towel as if she could wring the tension out of the room. She hadn't cried yet, but her lips were pressed tight enough to bleed. Dad leaned back in his recliner, arms folded, face carved into that stone wall I'd run into my entire life. And Ivy? Ivy lounged on the couch, paint stains on her jeans, scrolling her phone as if none of this mattered. When she finally looked up, her grin was thin and sharp. "Don't act like a martyr, Adam. You're just mad because for once it isn't about you." The words landed like a slap. I froze, not because she was right, but because she was twisting the knife. Before I could answer, Dad muttered, "Always looking for a fight." It wasn't me looking for a fight, but they had just lit one. My name is Adam Cross. 26. The son they leaned on when pipes leaked, when bills piled up, when Ivy needed bailing out. The son they never once celebrated. I've been the quiet one, not weak, not timid, quiet because words were useless here. I thought silence would keep me alive. That silence would buy me peace. But silence made me invisible. They thought I didn't see. They thought I didn't feel. They thought I forgot. The truth? I've seen everything. I've carried their mistakes, their debts, their lies, and I've kept one secret, a secret sharp enough to cut this house in two. Tonight, they'd finally taste it. Family members introduced. Ivy Cross, 24, my younger sister, painter, dreamer, and self-declared star. She believes the world should rearrange itself around her canvases. Every sigh is a demand. Tonight, she smirks like she's untouchable. Elaine Cross, Mom, 52, the peacemaker. Or so she claims. She pleads for quiet, but her choices always tip toward Ivy. Her line I'll never forget. "She needs us more, Adam." She says it like it's holy scripture. Martin Cross, Dad, 58, ruler of silence. He doesn't argue. He dismisses. From his chair, he's law. He hides behind calm, but his calm is just another weapon. That night, Ivy cut me mid-sentence, waving her paint-stained hand like I was static. "You don't get it, Adam. You never did." But I did. I always did. I just never said it out loud. The argument circled like vultures. Money. Always money. Dad had drained the savings, the same account I filled with every extra paycheck, to fund Ivy's dream studio. Mom called it an investment. I asked one question. What about the mortgage? The silence that followed was thick enough to choke me. Mom blinked too fast. Ivy's eyes slid away. Dad's jaw tightened. That's when I knew. There was more here. Something they didn't want said, "Don't start, Adam." Dad's voice cut. But I had already started. The room cracked wide open. Ivy's voice went sharp, shaking. "This family doesn't move without me. You think anyone would notice if you left? You're replaceable, Adam." Mom's tears spilled. "She deserves this chance. She's been through enough." Dad leaned forward, voice like gravel. "You'll never understand sacrifice, son. Never." I stood still, arms at my sides, my stillness louder than their shouting. Then I finally spoke, my voice steady, cold. I've given more to this family than all of you combined, and you know it." Their faces shifted. Guilt flickered across them like shadows. They couldn't deny it, but they'd try. A memory clawed at me. 18 years old, college acceptance letter in my hand. A full ride, but not full enough. We still needed help. Dad's voice, flat. "We can't afford it, Adam. Your sister's treatments come first." I folded the paper, tucked it away, and took a warehouse job instead. Ivy got better. Ivy thrived. Everyone forgot. But I remember the smell of cardboard and sweat, the burn in my arms after 12-hour shifts. I remember Mom whispering numbers to Dad at night, the sharp glances they thought I didn't catch. That was the first time I realized their sacrifices were mine, and mine were invisible. The truth clawed its way out. It wasn't just the savings, it was the inheritance. Grandpa left us money, enough to split, enough to change lives, all of it funneled into Ivy, her art school, her rent, her endless second chances. Ivy screamed, Mom begged, Dad thundered, but I didn't move, because I had already known. I'd found the papers months ago. I'd waited for this exact night. And when I finally said it out loud, their faces drained like the blood had been pulled right out of them. The house collapsed into chaos. Ivy shrieked, Mom pleaded, Dad roared. But I stayed calm. I'd been waiting for this moment my entire life. "I gave you all my silence," I said, voice firm, cutting through their storm. "Tonight, I give you the truth." They looked at me, finally looked at me, not as the quiet son, but as the one who held the match to their lies. And then Ivy's voice cracked, venom spilling. "You think this makes you better? You've always been jealous." Her words didn't break me. They proved me right. I didn't shout. I didn't slam. I picked up my coat, slid my arms through, and walked to the door. Behind me, Mom's voice trembled. "Adam, please, don't do this." But I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. They'll never see me the same again, I thought, and I don't need them to. Dad muttered something like an apology, broken, jagged. I didn't look back. Weeks passed. The house I grew up in felt smaller every time I drove by. Ivy still painted, but her work hung dull, lifeless. Mom avoided my eyes in the grocery store. Dad looked older, like the years finally caught him. And me? For the first time, I breathed without their weight pressing on my chest. The scars stayed. The pain didn't vanish. But I was lighter. "For the first time," I whispered, "I don't carry their weight anymore. Not forgiveness, not revenge, just peace. If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever?" Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. If Adam's story spoke to you, like if you've ever carried a weight that wasn't yours. Subscribe for more raw human stories of strength and survival. Comment below. Share your story. Sometimes healing begins when we finally speak. Like if you've ever carried a weight that wasn't yours. Subscribe for more raw human stories of strength and survival. Comment below. Share your story. Sometimes healing begins when we finally speak.